September 30th, 1960, The Flintstones premieres in prime time, sponsored by Winston Cigarettes. It was the first animated sitcom to stake out an evening network slot. Early on, the show targeted adults, and the first 2 seasons were co-sponsored by Winston Cigarettes. In that era's integrated commercials, Fred and Barney literally stepped into the ads at the end of the episodes, took a smoke break, and sang Winston's famous jingle. Tastes good like a cigarette should. I know that's not actually the tune, but hey, that's what I'm going with. Yabba dabba Casanova!
For uncensored news, millions of Eastern Americans switch on Radio Free Hollywood, the new sound from outside.
This is Radio Free Hollywood.
This is a Radio Free Hollywood. I'm Steve Jacob.
And I'm John Kassir.
And this week on Radio Free Hollywood, we discuss Tilly Norwood, the first AI actress, and how I don't know what to call it, being courted by Hollywood agents. Spoiler alert, everyone in Hollywood is pissed. And then we'll discuss Donald Trump's return to threatening 100% tariffs on movies being made abroad, which is pretty much every single movie.
All of them, yeah.
And later on, we'll speak to actress Sarah Nicklin of the new horror film from Shudder, VHS Halloween. But first, we banter.
Well, the Flintstones. I remember that. Saturday night was the Flintstones. I think it was Mack and Meyer for Hire, and then the Flintstones. That's how old I am, Steve.
That is old.
Nowadays, of course, they would
wait
probably...
a minute.
What?
You're not much older than me. Let's see. September 30th. I was 1 year old in 1960.
I was 3.
And you remember it?
Well, yeah, I remember the Flintstones on Saturday night. It may have started in 1960, but it certainly ran more than just the 1 year.
Mm. Well, my earliest TV memories are the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And on Saturday nights, the Jackie Gleason show.
Nice. Yeah, they used
with
to have
the
Ed
June
Sullivan
Taylor
show.
Dancers.
Ed Sullivan was always on Sundays, and
That's
if
right.
when you went to school, everybody be talking about what they saw.
Topo Gigio.
Hello, Eddie.
Topo Gigio. But yeah, can you imagine today, like they'd be probably advertising dispensaries or something. Yabba dabba doobie.
Yeah. You really wanted to get that in.
Yes, I did. Hey, Fred, bring some munchies.
I don't have a Fred Flintstone imitation.
Don't worry about it, Barney. Hey, Barney. Yeah, no.
So you're going to conventions like crazy right now?
It's that time of year.
It's my favorite horror day and my busiest time of fear.
The fans love it. I love it because I do love horror, and I love going and seeing all my other horror cohorts from as far back as, Roger Corman years in the Universal Horror Monsters to Art the Clown and the Terrifier series of films, which are so popular now. But, with that, I'm really excited to have Sarah Nicklin on to talk about not only Popeye the Slayer Man that
That's right.
that
We
she
like
was
Popeye.
in, that we interviewed the creators behind that, but also just the new community of young horror filmmakers in Hollywood. They all show up at each other's screenings. They all show up at each other's premieres and screamiers, and show up at these conventions as well. In fact, I just did one in Worcester, Mass, not far from where you grew up, I
Worcester.
guess.
That's right.
My mom grew up in Springfield, so it's like less than an hour from where my mom grew up, and I spent a lot of time as a kid at my grandma's house with all my cousins. They all showed up, and we had a great time. But this one was Silver Scream is sponsored by Ice Nine Kills and put together by my good buddies from Ice Nine Kills and Spencer Charnas and some of his fabulous people put together an amazing party and had some of the best guests that I've seen at a convention in a long time. They had the Scream cast. They had, some of the best makeup effects guys. They had yours, Ghoulie.
Yeah, well, all the good people were there if you were there.
That's right.
Was Art there?
You mean David, who played Art
Yeah.
the Clown, who we've had on the show?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if David was there. Yes, he was. And hugely
Did he-
popular these days.
Did he fly in? Did he come in on a private plane? His own private jet. It's like,
Well, they're definitely not paying him that much, but the conventions certainly are. But no. Yeah,
no, I think he has back end, doesn't he?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know.
Because they made that thing. The last one they made it for under $3 million, and
Yeah.
it's already brought in $38 million.
Yeah.
So somebody's getting very wealthy right now, and I'm hoping one of them is David.
Yeah, me too, man. He's a swell guy, a swell actor, and become a good friend, especially at these conventions. We like hanging out together. But Ice Nine had a concert. They had Rose McGowan and, all these great people. We were all sitting backstage having a great time, getting our hearing torn up. But, of course, Ice Nine Kills was on tour with Metallica and had hired me to do a Crypt Keeper opening for them, which was just so cool. And they did a great job interweaving it into the opening of the coming on stage and everything. And they performed as well as put together this great thing. You know what was amazing about that community of people was that, you'd go out on the patio after signing autographs all day and mingling with the fans, and they'd have not only all the group of us that had been doing that, but also fans and entourage and the band and all these different people standing on a patio, just hanging out, having conversations. There wasn't a single person on a phone. Not a single person. It was unbelievable. I just loved what a great community of people and, social intercourse. I just love using that word, intercourse.
Social intercourse? I've never heard that phrase before.
You never have? Oh,
Social intercourse?
Yes, intercourse amongst people. Yes, you mingle.
Well, that I'm aware of, intercourse amongst people, but
I've never.
social
I didn't make it
intercourse.
up. I didn't make it up.
Is that like a group of people
It's
socially intercoursing?
It's just the same as saying rubbing shoulders. Only it brings pictures of rubbing other things.
Has a
But-
bumpin'
but,
uglies.
I can't believe you've never heard that term.
I've never heard that term.
Well, there you go. Now you learn something new every day. I'm sure the horror community uses it a lot.
Social intercourse.
But, it could have to do also with they were smoking a lot of weed,
Yeah.
which is what people do instead of getting shit-faced drunk anymore. They go, they smoke some. I literally was having a conversation with a guy who works for one of the record, works as a consultant for the record companies, helping, put together not only advertising, but how to market certain artists and stuff like that. And we're talking to each other's ear off, having a really nice conversation. I don't know what he was smoking, but my knees started to buckle at one point, and I go, you know what? I just got the biggest contact high I've ever had in my life. I got to sit down, and but we had an amazing time. It was really a great time, and so I do enjoy going. I try not to go to too many because I don't want to burn out on it, but. I appreciate it. The fans appreciate it. The rest of the horror community has a fun time doing it. And this time of year is especially fun to do it. Yeah, I'll be headed to Winnipeg next, and then
Winnipeg.
Yeah, baby, and then I'll be in I'll be in Spokane, Washington, and then I'm going to be in San Antonio.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what I
going to
have left
be
for the year.
in Agora Hills.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Nice.
West Hollywood. I go from home to the office, office to home. I'm going. No, actually, that's not true. The end of the month, I'm going to be in Mallorca, Spain, at the Evolution Film Festival.
Oh, nice.
I am actually speaking. I don't think I'll be signing autographs like you do, but I will be speaking at that film festival. And
That sounds amazing.
yeah, we'll have to see. I've never been to Mallorca.
Oh,
I've never been to
Mallorca's great.
Spain.
Make sure you have
believe it or not.
the goat. It's good.
I'll have the goat. Okay, we need to get into our first story of the week.
So, Steve, so much is going on. So much is going on socially, sports-wise, It's October with the baseball season, go Dodgers, and all this thing. But, what's going on politically and with dare I say, I don't know when this airs, but right now we're in a government shutdown. And, what would you like to talk about? There's so many things to talk about. What would be the one specific thing that's
we're Radio Free Hollywood, so let's talk about the one that directly affects Hollywood. And that would be his regurgitated tariff threats.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
From Deadline, letting loose with a
trying to make
barrage.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the terrorist, he's trying to make sound like they're just doing us a favor.
Yeah, he's doing us a favor. This is the first time we've heard it. From Deadline, letting loose with a barrage of social media postings Monday morning on subjects ranging from furniture production in North Carolina, the New York City mayoral race, and the NFL, Donald Trump is back to attacking Gavin Newsom and promising big tariffs on overseas movies. Really big tariffs. Okay.
Really big tariffs.
Really big tariffs. Our movie-making business has been stolen from the United States of America by other countries.
Yeah.
Just like stealing candy from a baby. California, with its weak and incompetent governor, has been particularly hard hit. Oh, 100% tariffs on movies. This is never going to happen. And the real thing to talk about here is why he's saying
Where's
this.
he going to charge them? You mean on the DVDs? Nobody buys DVDs anymore. Where is he going to charge? Where's he going to charge? To what part of it is he going to charge?
It's an import tax, basically, that he would charge to producers. So at 100%, if you have a $40 million studio movie that, shot 3 scenes in New Zealand, your $40 million movie now costs $80 million.
Wow.
And it's like, so, he's not going to be able to do it because the people that he has to screw over to do it are too big. They're billionaires, and they're not gonna let it happen. But it's more that okay, he's pulling stuff out of his ass right now that it's already retread because it must have been a slow news day. All he's trying to do is distract from the Epstein files with this.
Oh, totally.
That's all that's going on. He's not serious about 100% tariff on films. It's bullshit.
The funny thing is with him too is that he goes back and forth from insulting and punishing California to trying to woo them. Like when he showed up for the press conference after the Palisades fire, saying, "Oh, we're going to get your houses rebuilt in a week." Well, that can't happen, Mr. President, because they have to do hazmat, this kind of thing. Oh, well, if you get it done in 6 months, what we're calling the EPA will give you money. Otherwise, we're not giving you any. Blah, 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 blah. This kind of thing. And it's the same thing with the entertainment industry. Oh, Newsom screwed it up. No, Newsom's been fighting for it for years. It's Northern California. It's the Republicans up in Northern California.
And the agricultural interests in the Central Coast.
Which is a whole nother thing with
It's
the
a
tariffs.
whole other thing, yeah.
I mean,
So-
look what's happening with the agriculture. Now he's saying, we're going to take the tariff money and we're going to give it to the farmers. It's like, what are you talking
Well,
about?
what tariff money? If that's for imports, the farmers are screwed because China
Yes.
won't buy their soybeans anymore.
That's it. So really what he's saying is they're going to take the money from the other tariffs that were supposed to go to the deficit, and you're going to pay the farmers with it. And you're like, no, you screwed the farmers. You screwed them. You screwed them by China no longer takes our soybeans. They're taking them from South America. You know,
Yeah.
that's like, I don't know how many billions of dollars that we lost. It's like $18 billion in soybeans alone. I'm just like, why do people like even entertain this? Why do people not see exactly what's going on? I just will never get it.
Well, yeah. Well, they don't want to get it because that's the thing. It's like I have my questions. Farmers, that's his base, and he's screwing them over. And my question is, are they still supporting him? Because he's turning around and saying, "Well, we'll bail you out," but will he bail them out?
I will say that I keep seeing on social media more and more farmer types, on social media, saying like, saying that, calling him on everything that's gone on.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great if the Heartland was done with him finally.
Yeah.
J.B. Pritzker today was calling for the 25th Amendment to throw him out. That'll never happen.
No.
But let's backtrack 1 second, because all of this ridiculousness is about one thing in my mind. It's about the Epstein files. And the whole reason why he wanted to get elected in the first place was to stay out of jail. And now that he has this Epstein files problem, he wants to be a dictator. He wants to be an authoritarian so he can make all the rules and he can squelch all of the evidence. But it's like, Mike Johnson won't swear in this congressperson from Congress or senator. I think it's
the one that just
Congress. It's a congresswoman. Won't swear her in because she's the deciding vote, and it's like it's ridiculous. Just give us the files. I'm sure he will be able to fight it in court, but if at least it's out there. Okay, we know he's a pedophile, or allegedly a pedophile. Sorry. If he's allegedly a pedophile, let's see the evidence that he's not. That's like, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid
I'm
of the
not confident
files?
that any of the material is even there anymore.
I'm not confident either. I think it's all been.
Once it is revealed, it'll all be redacted or disappeared.
It's like
You
he's
know, it's just
vamping
like,
until
at this point, who's watching it? There isn't anybody who's not been taken over by the current administration and fired the people who were supposed to be doing it. That's supposed to keep everything, protect the public from dictatorship. The court system is already fucked for that. The financial system is already fucked for that. The tax system is already fucked for that. The oh my God, forget it. What they're trying to do with
here's a thought on the Epstein situation. Instead of waiting for the files, why don't we just believe the victims?
Exactly.
Why don't we believe these women who said it happened?
They put Harvey
Why don't
Weinstein.
we get their full stories on the cover of the New York Times every day? It's like that's where the rubber meets the road for me. It's like, why are you not believing the victims? It's like this question in everybody's mind when they're
all telling
saying
the same
exactly
story.
what happened.
Yeah.
And
If they're all
Ghislaine-
telling the same story, that's how they put away people like Harvey Weinstein. It's just,
Exactly. But meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was in maximum security, who was sent to Club Fed now they're talking about releasing her for good behavior. It's like, and she said, "Oh, he was a perfect gentleman." Gee, There's not much incentive for you to say that, is there?
First, there's nothing. There's never been anything said about Donald Trump and being perfect or a gentleman in his entire life. Why would you say that now?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. Explain this photo to me. He's got his hand on a knee. She's obviously underage. What is this?
Right. I think that's his
Elaine,
daughter.
what is that?
Actually.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Isn't that of Ivana?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many photos out there.
There's so many photos. There's so many. Then there's cartoons.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. But that's the thing. Release the files. Stop with your bullshit about Hollywood tariffs. If you want to help Hollywood, there should be a federal incentive program to help filmmakers in this country make films. That's what we
People will
need.
spend the
That's
money, and you will get the tax dollars.
That's
and
right.
Rather than just like making the money disappear,
It's $24 on the
and the rest
on
of
the dollar.
the rest of the public doesn't fucking pay for it.
That's right. And it's like it would be easy if you really wanted to help, instead of just like create some kind of smoke screen for more of your alleged crimes, and then you would do a federal tax rebate for film.
That's it.
It's not hard to do, and it wouldn't cost that much either.
No.
Even if it was $1 billion a year, $1 billion. You know, when the
Oh, it translate into tens of billions of dollars in tax monies paid.
well, if you go by California's equation, a dollar equals 24 in gross product, then it's 240 billion.
yeah.
For 1 billion? No, it's 24 billion.
Well, they get the break, so
That'd
it
be
brings it
awesome.
down. It brings it down, but at the same time, it's ridiculous.
And
It's a
once you get
ridiculous
through the-
scenario to stay away from. I've never understood
yeah,
it from
well,
the
you
people
know, it's-
up in Sacramento. I just don't get it.
It's the red states basically don't want blue states to get anything. And
Meanwhile,
see,
they're the ones sucking all the money out of the frigging system because
That's
they're
right.
they're not contributing to the tax
well,
system
that's
enough.
why people talk about soft secession and stuff like that, and eventually states like California maybe not paying their federal taxes anymore, although that would just bring the military in. But
Oh, God.
I mean, there's definitely an inequality between the blue states and the red states, with the exception of Texas. Texas puts more money in than they get out. So, I don't know. There's so many directions we could go with this conversation, and it would last all day long.
No, nothing's changing. I mean, it's getting worse and worse and worse. He's he's scrambling to get everything done before the midterms, but by then, I mean, this whole thing with Joy Behar saying it's not fixable now. We're already fucked. And people going, "What are you talking about? That can't be true. That can't be true."
Which part is fucked?
Everything that Trump has put into place, that most of it won't be reversible, even once once he's out of office, even once it's,
Well,
he's
it's certainly going to be.
democracy. Let's just
Yeah.
say democracy.
It's going to be very difficult to rebuild the foundational government,
Well,
all the
certainly
different
the court
departments
system.
that he gutted. It's going to take a long time to get that together. I mean, you can hire people. It's going to take them years to figure out what they're doing, and I
Well,
don't,
now he's trying to woo. Now he's trying to, woo. He's trying to blackmail a lot of major universities by telling them he'll give them their research money back if they, don't take in as many foreign students and
Right.
denounce DEI and all these other things. Come on, man, what is going on? What is going
it's
on?
like, I don't know.
How does somebody get that much power in this country? It's
Well-
in our system. How does it happen?
It happens by him taking control of a party and the party letting him, and
Yeah,
then
that's it.
and then they they win all three branches of government, and you have a perfect storm. And he wants to be an isolationist, and the Republican Party wants to be isolationist, but I can't remember who said it. If you don't have wars abroad, you'll bring the war home to you. And that's exactly what's happening. The thing with the generals and saying that he wants them to do their military. Let's practice
in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Troops in the street. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see how that one turns out. Anyway, okay, we're just getting way depressing.
Don't get me started. Oh, too late.
No, too late. Okay.
Let's move
So
on to the next topic.
next topic should really calm you down. It's Tilly Norwood.
Slowly I turn, step by step, inch by inch. Please tell us, Steve, who Tilly is, so that everybody knows who's not been following.
Yeah, hopefully they've been following, because it's kind of a big story. Tilly, from Variety. AI actress Tilly Norwood debuts at Zurich Summit as industry grapples with emerging tech. We want her to be the next Scarlett Johansson.
There is no next Scarlett Johansson. This just shows you how unimaginative these people who are pining to do this kind of thing to the industry, how little they have in creativity. To not be able to recognize when somebody is unique and something new. What's the newest thing? Don't be the next Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is fantastic because she is like nobody else. Get the next somebody who's like nobody else. And that is certainly not an AI-produced
Well, Tilly,
actress.
I would argue that Tilly is like everybody else.
That's
because
it.
She's made of everybody.
That's the point I was going to make. There is nothing that's not derivative about her because she's made from nothing but derivative material. She's derived from other material.
And I like how they made her like 18. It's like they didn't try to do an AI of me. They went for an 18-year-old girl with deep cleavage. Go figure. Go figure. Well, the thing that I think is hilarious here is, in the initial, well, we should actually read this. From Variety, AI actress Tilly Norwood debuts at Zurich Summit as industry grapples with emerging tech. We want her to be the next Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my God.
AI actress Tilly Norwood has attracted the attention of multiple talent agents. Actor, comedian, and producer Eileen van der Velden told a panel at Zurich Summit, the industry strand of the Zurich Film Festival. Yeah, I've never heard of this person, but whatever. Tilly Norwood is the first creation to emerge from recently launched AI talent studio Zikoya, a spinoff from van der Velden's AI production studio Particle 6. I think van der Velden gets around a bit. I'm just gonna go right to the agent thing, because in the ensuing days, first of all, they're not saying who's trying to sign her, which my guess is I can tell you who's trying to sign her, but they're not trying to sign her anymore because
All the clients said they'd quit.
Yeah, they threw this against the wall, and everyone got so pissed off.
Oh my God.
It's interesting simply because talent agents, yes, could they sell this? Not right now. But I mean, this is a bad sign in general. It's a worse sign that talent agents who, let's face it, there's a lot of talent agents that are just mendacious fucks. And they'll just follow the money wherever it goes. And if they feel there's money here, they will try to get involved with it. And that's fine and dandy, but I don't see how you are going to be able to really just fit this character into an overriding piece that is not fully AI. That's the thing. That's what nobody's talking about here. Everyone's pissed about it, and I understand why they're pissed about it, but there's not much they can do with it except for make the short 30 to a minute long things that they're making right now. You can't, maybe you could make vertical dramas with it, the stuff that you watch on your phones, but those are all like, those are all like soap opera-y, and I don't know. It's just.
Well, if you were gonna do it, why didn't you just do it like like they did with Al Pacino, that movie with Al Pacino, where they didn't tell anybody it was an AI actress. They found out later when she was supposed to show up for her Academy Award or whatever. I think is how it played out. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, well, yeah. Who was that? What movie was that? Will, what movie was that?
Simone.
Simone, thank you. Yeah.
But the I and the O are a 1 and a 0.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, right. I get it. But was that character really fully AI? I mean, it wasn't like a green screen ping pong ball actress that they then painted over?
No, Simone was played by an actress named Rachel Roberts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Tilly is totally AI, and one of the pieces they put her in was totally AI with all these other actors, with these AI actors, and it's just
So Sarah has just joined us.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, how are you?
Ladies
That's
and
good.
gentlemen, Sarah
Doing
Nicklin.
well, thanks.
Okay.
Just to throw you baptism by fire.
Yeah.
We're talking about the
Tilly Norwood.
Tilly Norwood, the AI actress. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
causing quite a stir
we can
at the
we can
moment.
wrap that up. And Sarah, if you have opinions on this, just please throw them in here, because we're just a couple of knuckleheads and there's no real form or function to this thing. So, well, there tries to be, but I think she'll be good for cameos. Like you'll see her in a Super Bowl ad, and stuff like that. I don't think we're really to this Rubicon yet. I found it very interesting that agents were trying to sign her, if that's even true, because the big agencies have all said, it's not us, it's not us, it's not us. It could be some guy working out of the trunk of his car. So, and there's plenty of those,
Yeah.
I get it.
Why do they need to sign it? Why do they need an agent if she's
That's
getting
true.
all this press? What does she need
Well,
an agent for
someone
anyway?
needs to negotiate for her. Someone needs to do
Get an attorney. 5%.
Yeah. I bet Tilly already has an attorney. She definitely.
I'm sure.
Well, I checked her Instagram this morning and it hadn't grown at all. So I don't think there's really much going on there.
Well,
In a few
obviously,
years, it's
it
going
grew
to be
by
real.
one. You.
Well, I didn't follow. I just went to see if there were any more posts. I'm creeping Tilly Norwood.
Well, that'll happen. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, I'm going to do your intro now. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Born in Connecticut, Sarah Nicklin appeared in her first play, Bye Bye Birdie, in the 6th grade. She then went on to graduate Emerson College with a BFA in acting. She appeared in the indie cult hit None of That, which granted her local notoriety. She's known for her timeless girl next door quality and ability to combine fragility and strength in her characters. Sarah has won Best Actress for her roles in Exhumed, Escape the Dark, and Victimized at several film festivals around the country. She has also been nominated for her roles in Angel City Horror, Choices, and Debeaked. Her new film is Shudder's VHS Halloween. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that lovely introduction. My goodness.
You're welcome. Well, the first thing you were born in Connecticut.
Yeah,
and,
I was.
And raised in Connecticut?
Born and raised in Connecticut.
Where?
I was in the Danbury area, and then for high school, I went to Ridgefield.
That's what
I grew up in West Hartford.
Oh, okay. That's not far away at all.
No, not at all. And I lived in I lived in Reading for a couple of years, and then I lived in Westport for a couple of years. So we stomped around the same hall.
Very
and,
much.
my cousins are in Richfield.
Oh, that's the perfect. There you go.
They're a
We
little
probably-
older than you, or I'd start naming them. Going, did you go to school with these guys?
Yeah. My dad worked in Westport also, so that was right, all of that same area.
Nice.
There you go. And we all tromped around the Danbury Mall.
Yes, we did. That's all you did. That's all that there was to do.
That's all that there was to do. Okay,
Let me ask you,
totally
Sarah, were you
digress.
at the Silver Scream?
No, I wasn't.
No.
I actually was in upstate New York for Scaricon the
Oh,
weekend before.
nice. Yeah, I was there. It was I would just bring it up because, of course, it was in Worcester, Mass.
Mm-hmm.
And got to see a bunch of my cousins and stuff up there. It was a lot of fun. Steve and I had started earlier talking about this time of fear is very busy for the horror conventions and how much fun they are.
Yes, very much so.
I want to get into some of your films and especially your newest film, but with Shudder. But I also want to talk about what a great little and growing community of independent horror feature makers that you and I have met through and gotten to spend some time with right here in LA. It's like one of the most thriving parts of our industry right now
Yeah.
in LA. And it's amazing how every single one of them show up to each other's and try to cross-pollinate the work. And, whether it's Samuel Gonzalez Jr. or, doing his new movie, Stiletto, or,
Mm-hmm.
the one that we did together, If It Bleeds.
Yep. Yeah.
So-
Was there any question that it was going to bleed?
Well, it's like if it bleeds, it leads. It's like it's a reporter anthology. So that's where the name of that comes from. But it is a really, really supportive community here in Los Angeles of indie filmmakers, always trying to show up and support each other. And I think that's really important, that we're actually trying to help each other all rise together as opposed to being competitive.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, you have a big, big forward face in that, and that's really amazing. I'm sure a lot of the work comes through that too.
Absolutely,
when it comes down to it. Steve and I got to talk to the creators, of course, of Popeye the Slayer Man.
Yeah.
So we became fans, instant fans.
Oh, wonderful. Yay.
That looked like that was fun. I mean, there's a lot of psychological stuff that they always put you through because you're good at it. I mean, how do you prepare for that? Is that something you just slide into, or is it something that,
I think it depends on kind of the tone of the film. So I've been doing horror for a long time. So if it's just the kind of typical, you're being stalked by a killer and you have to be scared, like that kind of stuff, I'm like, all right, I just have a bunch of breathing techniques that I learned in training that I use to get my body like amped up and going. And then you just follow your instincts and go wherever it takes you.
Yeah. At my age, you pass out doing that stuff, but it's,
You have to be careful. Sometimes you have to lean and brace yourself against a wall a little bit. You got to make sure you're not going to fall over.
If I had a nickel for every time I had to wash fake blood off me.
Oh my God. Fake blood. You got to use the gel shaving cream. That is the best to get fake blood, not the foam. I don't know what it is about the gel, but that's what gets it off. And it's so sticky.
I know. Well, they used to use K-Rose syrup, with and that was really hard to get off. But listen, tell us about VHS Halloween, because I watch it. It's jarringly interesting the way it cuts through. If it bleeds, cutting throughout the different stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So VHS Halloween, it's the 8th. I can't believe they're on 8 installment in the VHS found footage franchise, which is crazy. So this movie is specifically focused just around Halloween, which is my favorite holiday. So I really love that they actually, decided to do one focused around the whole spooky season. And our segment, the one that I worked on, is called Home Haunt. And it's about a family that does a backyard home haunt every year. And you see them in flashbacks as they're building it when the kid's really little. And now he's a teenager and he's being made fun of at school for being a hunchback. And so he doesn't want to do it anymore. So we're going to do it one final time, and we get this haunted record that we play that makes the maze come to life. And so then it's the family trying to make it through and actually battle the real life monsters.
Well, it's a great scenario because you often wonder when you go into one of those haunted houses or whatever, what would happen if it actually did get out of control.
Yeah. I mean, there's some movies about that. Like there, several horror films that have explored that, killing people for real in haunted houses. Because we all just automatically assume it's fake, no matter what.
Well, listen, the whole thing about horror that we love so much is that you can experience something that feels like you're in that much danger, but you know that you're actually not in that much danger.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have that stimulated in you over and over and over again. And you know this, we're probably like that, the two of us, but also the fans certainly are addicted to that.
It's an adrenaline. Exactly. Adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Like a roller coaster. The first time you go on a roller coaster, you're like, I'm not going on that thing. Your friends are like, come on. And then you go on, you're like, oh, wow. I want one bigger. I want one scarier. I need one scarier, And it's the same thing with horror, I feel really lucky to be a part of it. I'm sure you do too.
I do too. I think it's the best genre. It's my favorite genre to watch. It's my favorite genre to work in. Because it takes risks, I feel like, more than a lot of other genres. It's really been historically a breeding ground to spark conversations about a lot of things that are happening socially in a way that other genres really don't. So it's really been an ever-evolving genre that's, pushing the boundaries also of what can we do? How psychologically scary can we be? How gory scary we can be? And just finding new ways to really reinvent itself. So I think it's awesome.
Totally. I mean, if you look at based on what you just said, if you look at it through history, like the woman surviving the horror movies with Jamie Lee Curtis and that kind of thing came during Women's Lib.
Mm-hmm.
The Blob and all these, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman and all these different kinds of things happened when they were talking about the nuclear problems and these things
Sputnik is what really set off the more the modern horror wave.
Yeah.
It's like things coming from space.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. So what strikes me, because I was going through your credits and all of that, and I like to bomb around IMDb all the time. And what it just uncovered was what a vast ecosystem that horror has become. Not something like the Sinners or Weapons or something like that, those are studio movies, but the found footage movies, the Popeye the Slayer Man, it's like there's this whole ecosystem of not just movies, of people who work on these movies, and just all the way through, from the actors and directors all the way through the crew, the cinematographers. I kept seeing names come up that I have never seen before. It's amazing how I think that the horror community gets pretty short shrift.
I agree.
By the general filmmaking community.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I can list for you all the reasons probably why that is, because there's not big money in it, but there's probably a lot of creative freedom. As you said, you can take lots of risks. And when you make a movie, you don't have some studio suit breathing down your neck to make your day. And that's an entirely different kind of filmmaking.
It is. The Terrifier, which is, kind of has its own pedigree. I mean, a lot of the old school guys are calling it murder porn, but which is it kind of is.
It
But
is.
I think that on some level today's younger audience for it get that there's a certain level. I mean, that's how extreme their humor has gotten, that they're able to deal with it on a humorous level. Other people would just be sickened by it, but me not being one of them. But at the I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for taking those risks. But they were getting on to their third movie and had the opportunity to have a lot more money thrown at them from somebody that wanted to control the situation. And, they said no, which to their credit was a good move because, they made what they wanted to make for the amount of money they could make it for and made the money that they wanted to make on it, made the kind of movie they wanted to continue to make, as opposed to somebody saying, well, we control the franchise now. Let's throw Tilly in there.
Exactly.
Let's see what happens when she gets chopped off.
And I think that's one of the really interesting and important things about indie horror is that we're keeping these independent voices and keeping this creativity going. And I think that a lot of like people that are more mainstream or more in like executive roles, they recognize that there is money to be made in horror because it is generally fairly profitable. But they don't really understand the genre. They don't really know why people like it or why people go to see it. So when you get some of these bigger studios that are trying to make a horror movie and it's, script by committee, they're not taking any of the risks like a Terrifier would. They want to do something that's like checking the boxes of, oh, well, this worked before, so it's going to work again. And then we a lot of times get stuff that's fairly bland, which is why so many horror fans really turn to this independent horror where there are this really fresh and creative voices.
Yeah. Well, like in the case of VHS Halloween, I mean, it looks like somebody shot it on a VHS camera, which is great. I mean, that's scary in itself to me.
Me too.
I don't even have a VHS player anymore. But the idea that it feels like nobody's actors in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's different genres of that stuff. I mean, I was reading an article about how, Boris Karloff through all those years never got what was due to him in the work that he was doing as all these iconic creatures. And here the craft was being used at its premium in those Universal horror monster movies, and so it's evolved. Unless you have something like Silence of the Lambs, which, gets nominated as a horror movie, nobody thought of it as a horror movie, but it certainly was a horror movie.
One of the best ever made.
One of the certainly. And Psycho 2 and all these films are just so good. I went to a screening of Demon Knight the other night. We had a screening, which of course is Tales from the Crypt.
I love that film.
And it's so good. It's better than it's in my top 5 horror movies. It's got a better cast than a horror movie it deserves to have. It's got a better script. It's got better effects. It's got a better soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack's amazing. Ernest Dickerson, he fought for everything that was in that film. And of course, Todd Masters doing the effects, and Kevin Yeager bringing to death the puppet Crypt Keeper that of course I got to portray, and then Gil Adler and Alan Katz, who were the producers on it, making this for these big movie producers that could get just about anything they wanted, but yet it was hard to get the studios to make it, to give them the budget to make it. And for them to promote it and to get an audience in there, because it wasn't the genre that people were rushing to the movies to see the way it is now. And there certainly wasn't other venues for it. So it almost gets more audience now, 30 years later, than when it originally did. And I feel really special in that I get to hang with you guys that appreciate the work that I did in a genre that everybody is now fully invested in, and I get asked to work on it, and I get asked to show up to enjoy it, and I get asked to give my opinion on it, and I get my, just to show up, just to have fun.
Yeah.
And I feel privileged by that from you and the rest of the horror community, just for that reason. And which is too bad. I mean, and then of course people are like, why can't you get the franchise back? It's like, well, this has happened. It happened with Friday the 13th. It's happened with everything. The rights get passed on to somebody else, especially something like Tales from the Crypt that was based on a comic book, and no longer have the rights to it. Look at Popeye the Slayer Man. As soon as Popeye became, they have an awards category, which I think you were nominated. Did you win?
Yeah.
For best actress in a movie based on public domain or something like that. It's called. Is that what it's called? What it is?
Exactly. Best public domain resurrection. So it was a category at this year's Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Yeah.
And so Popeye Slayer Man was nominated, as well as a couple Screamboat, and a couple of the other, because there were actually 3 Popeye movies that came out. Ours is the best one, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But there's a whole new category. That's been
Steamboat
created.
Willie is the new one, which is of course the precursor to
Screamboat
Mickey
Willie.
Mouse.
Is
Yeah.
it Screamboat Willie? Yeah.
Screamboat Willie.
But
As
I
long
really
as does the mouse get it in the end?
I
What
have
happens?
no idea. I have no idea. He's haunted by some.
Or is the mouse the killer?
the mouse is the killer in that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
He cheeses people to death.
But horror really
my.
has evolved, like you were saying, and I think it's now bigger than it's ever been. It's been, even in my time working in it, I've seen so much more of an acceptance of horror by mainstream audiences, and people, like you said, rediscovering old films like Demon Knight or Monster Squad or Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat, movies that came out that were flops but are now like classics and have huge fan bases.
Oh yeah, and it's
Bled over.
see what I did there?
I like it.
into animation and especially music. The Alice Cooper thing was highly unique back in its day, and now it's mainstay. Whether it's Ice Nine Kills or Chatter. I did Chatter's first video. I played the principal. It takes place on Halloween night in 1999 on at a Halloween party, high school Halloween party, and I play the principal. And I had so much fun doing it. We Samuel Gonzalez Jr. directed it, and it's unbelievable. And this kid's a great artist. He's going to be something big. And and his whole theme is like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Scooby-Doo, this kind of thing, where they're the outcasts that are keyed into really what's happening on the mystical, scary level.
That's
And
cool.
so that's his whole vibe, is giving a voice to the disenfranchised young people. And so, that kind of thing has always been a theme in horror, and it's very, it's extremely popular right now, and there's a reason for that. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's also, we get a lot of good horror and people really being drawn to horror when there's a social tension. So I think that's part of it as well. It's kind of like escapism.
No doubt.
For-
No
yeah.
doubt.
Wanting to kill someone when it's not socially acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Great idea for a new Blob movie. It
yeah.
has a spray tan and orange hair, and it eats McDonald's hamburgers. Democrats.
No, that's truly horrifying.
My goodness. But the real
Now
star
you know
of that
why
movie,
we're called. Now you know why we're called
the what?
Hollywood.
Radio Free Hollywood.
Radio Free Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
We,
Well,
we
I
say
think,
whatever that we want.
I
whenever
think in
we
the
want.
end of that movie, the Blob has to get killed, and you find out it was
In his own ballroom.
in his own ballroom by his Romanian rent-a-wife. Ooh.
Who's got the money? Who's got the financing?
Who's got the
Oh, my
financing?
God,
She's,
I'm so
she's holding
there.
the Epstein files
Yeah, that's-
in her hand as she
Yes.
dispatches him once and for all. We're probably now going to get like the FBI is going to show up. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm-
yes.
I
we're
mean,
fantasizing.
We could
I'm
only be
married
so
to a
lucky.
screenwriter, so the amount of stuff that's like within our internet that's Googled, I'm sure we are on so many watch at this point. How long does it take a body to decompose? How do you dismember a body? How do you make
Oh
a
my
bomb? Like,
God.
you know, all the stuff you need to know when you're writing a
All
script.
Oh man, yeah. I was. I know that I have an FBI file. This I'm aware of.
How did you find that out?
I was kind of told, but
Oh,
no, because in college when I went to NYU, and a friend of mine and I opened an off Broadway theater, an underground theater. And the only place we could find to do it, and we gave performances twice a week, was in the Upper West Side Socialists Union. So it was like all of these old like Bolsheviks and us.
Which, incidentally, where's the group theater came out of there? No,
Yeah, exactly.
they were all
And it just had,
card-carrying
and it was a
communists,
library.
so
It just had books upon books upon books of communist and socialist propaganda and theory and like all this stuff. So yeah, that's how that happened. And I've had my phone tapped before too. So
oh wow, that's scary. That's really scary.
yeah, that's weird. I had a friend at the same a couple of years later that his name was Bruce. I won't say his last name, but he used to sing at the White House all the time because he was Porgy and Bess. So if you want to go Google it, like early '80s Porgy and Bess, Metropolitan Opera, you'll get his name. But he was invited a number of times to sing at the Reagan House, White House. And I was talking to him on the phone one day, and every time he was set up to do a gig, my phone would start clicking. And I said, "What's going on?" Every time I talk to you, my phone's like clicking. He goes, "Oh, they're tapping you. They're wiretapping you." I said, "What do you mean they're wiretapping me?" He goes, "Yeah, they tap all my friends. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. I should have warned you about that." So be careful what you say because they are listening to us.
let the paranoia start creeping in. Oh, Sarah,
Oh my goodness
you have
gracious.
no idea what you've gotten yourself into. Be
Yes.
careful what you ask for.
That's right.
You may get it.
So, well, I would say, Sarah, you and your husband probably have FBI files now too that you've been
We probably
searching
do.
the internet so diligently about. But you know, every time a kid shoots up a high school, that's when they go back and look at his internet history and go, we should have seen
Oh.
this coming. Look at
Yeah.
this kid.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So
would
they're-
actually that would be a good idea for a movie, like you were saying, a haunted house that becomes real. So do someone that's like actually a serial killer that's using being a screenwriter or working in the entertainment industry as their cover.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What's the pitch for that? It's kind of
It's called Sean.
It's called Sean. You just
That's
call
what-
it Sean.
As-
No, it's not. It sounds a little like The Player. You know that movie with Tim Robbins?
Yeah,
You ever see that
right.
movie?
I haven't seen
Wagging,
that one.
wagging
Oh,
the
it's
dog
great.
in the entertainment industry. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great. It's
no.
a great movie. I wonder if that holds up.
I bet
Was
it
that,
does.
Was that
even-
Robert Altman?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got like
but
one of
he
the
has a
long-
fax machine in his Range Rover. That's the era we're talking about.
Yeah.
Where like you were a big deal in Hollywood if you had a fax machine in your car.
Amazing.
So,
Tim Robbins. Yeah,
Tim Robbins. Really good movie. You should watch that movie if you get
Yeah.
a chance to. It's not a horror movie, but it's more of a thriller.
it should have been written by. If it had been written by Stephen King, it would.
Oh,
have
yeah,
had
it
the right,
would have
it would
been
have had the
in-
right
yeah.
twist because it's a perfect kind of genre for him to jump into.
Yeah.
You know, people don't remember that he wrote things like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like people think of it only, like It and that kind of stuff. But he wrote some really interesting stuff down, Anyway.
Well, we'll let you go here in a moment, but why don't you give us the 411 on the movie? When does it open? Where is it playing? How can people see it?
So
Where can they find you?
Sure. Well, movie's more important than me. Come on. Oh, shoot.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
We
the
got you
movie-
on.
Yes, that's true. Okay, fine, fair. The movie's coming out on October 3rd, and it's only going to be available on Shudder. So you have to sign up to Shudder if you don't have it already to see it. Which I think you should, if someone's going to watch it, I would highly recommend getting like a bunch of friends to come over, because when we first saw it, it was when it premiered at Fantastic Fest, and then it played also at Beyond Fest in Los Angeles. And seeing it in a big theater with a group of friends that are also really into horror is definitely the way to do it. Since the tone is really fun, it's really a lot more fun than a lot of the other VHS installments that have come before. There's a good amount of comedy, there's a good amount of gore and like gross out material that I think horror fans are really going to love and just react to really well.
Yeah.
So,
There's a certain level to it that's like Scream, and that it's satirical on a certain level,
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
are you going to any conventions? What's coming up for you?
I did a bunch of conventions earlier this year. I don't have any more coming up at the moment. There's a couple at the beginning of the year that I'm talking to try to get into, but that's not like officially set yet. So if someone wants to like interact with me, I think Instagram's the best place to do that right now.
Okay.
Great.
Social media, gotta put that out there.
Well, that's fine. That's the first place I found you. And I'm not a social media maven. I'm barely social media literate. So
But he is a maven.
But I am a maven. In my own mind. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
And, lots of luck on the movie.
Thank you.
And lots of luck on the horror community. It just feels like it's thriving, and it's such a good thing to see in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's only going to continue to get better. Like John, like you were saying, we've got such a good group of people here. And even before I moved to LA, when I was working in New England in the Connecticut area, there was a good group of indie filmmakers there. And so I think it's just, we need to hear other people's voices. So if there's, filmmakers out there, go make your movie, be creative. There's going to be an audience for it, and find people to collaborate with.
You know how much I appreciate you, and I'll see you on campus, as they
Yes,
say.
I'm sure we will.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much for coming.
Thank you so much.
This has been Radio Free Hollywood.
Radio Free
This has
Hollywood.
been Radio
This has
Free
been
Hollywood.
Radio Free Hollywood.